Hey guys, Rock here. Today I got a 2015 Untitled Wildcat X. This is the limited model. I'll go ahead and do a walk around, and then we'll hop in and take it for a test drive. Pretty sharp looking machine. Some people hate the looks of these things. Some people love the looks of them. I'm kind of torn. They do look good. I'm not a big fan of the front end, how it narrows down, gets real wide. But other than that, I think it's a sharp looking machine. I like the color graphics on this. It's got the beadlock rims, ITP tires. And the biggest thing with this thing is Elka Stage 5 shocks all the way around it. And that comes factory on this. So that's pretty much the best suspension setup you can get on any side-by-side, and it comes factory on this. So these are a little different. Your radiator is actually in the back of the machine, so so I guess it's good and bad. You don't have any air really getting to it to cool the radiator down, but you're never going to have mud issues because it's tucked up in there versus the front of the machine. So I guess with each machine you got different pluses and minuses. It's got the full doors, nice cushiony big old seats. Here's the cockpit. Now let's hop in, we'll take it for a ride. All right, so hop in here. So you start it up with the key. One important thing to note with the Untitled Wildcat 1000s, it'll tell you down here too, you can, but you shouldn't start this in park. You should start it in neutral. Now the reason for that is because on these 1000s specifically, not, I believe all other Wildcats, the trails and stuff are different, but when this is in park, what it does is it locks that secondary clutch. So the secondary clutch is actually not moving, and if you start it up, it's gonna, it's a little bit, it's gonna try and move in that secondary a little bit, so it'll be hard on the starter. Might not start as easy. That's one of the things. The other thing is you never want to rev this up in park. What that's gonna do is your belt's not gonna move, your clutch is gonna engage, and it's just gonna wear a hole or wear a flat spot on that one side of that clutch. And that'll tell you right here, also tell you in the owner's manual. So any machine, you should probably look at your owner's manual, and that way you know you're doing the right stuff. So we're in park, put it in neutral, turn the key on. I like to let the fuel pump cycle, and then I'll start it up. Fires right up, no problem. This is the X model. It's got a little bit higher compression than the older 1000s, so I noticed the idle's a little more sporadic. On your speedometer gauge and stuff here, you got trip meters, your hours, your miles, your clock. On this one, you can switch. Basically, you can have an analog speedometer or analog RPMs. Right now it's on RPMs here, and this is the speed. As you can see, 0. If I hit that one more time, now the RPMs are here, and your miles per hour are there. I kind of like to leave it there because that way you get a very accurate reading of your speed. Well, as accurate as the speedometer is, and then your RPMs you can kind of see go up. This thing has a very throaty sound to it. Nice V-twin sound. I like the sound. This has got EPS So it's got the electronic power steering. So let's yeah, we'll take it for a ride here. A lot of people complain about the in-cabin noise, as far as you know, how loud it is. I really don't think it's that bad. It's a little louder than some of the other machines, but I like the sound of the engine, so it doesn't bother me as much. As far as the power steering goes, works great. It's got a adjustable steering, hydraulic piston where you can go up and down with this thing. So that's nice. Your two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive switch is right here with a locking differential. Get onto it a little bit here, get warmed up. It does have a nice sound to it. This is a 64-inch wide model, so it's a little wide to fit on some of the trails, but most of the trails around here it can make it. Actually, one thing I wanted to see what kind of low range this had. Low range all the way up. Let's see. A good low range will have, you know, enough low end to get you through the toughest stuff, and it'll be able to, you know, get speed too, because you don't want to be switching back and forth through low range or high range all the time. So let's see, we're about 5,000 RPMs, 15 to 17 miles an hour. It's not too bad. There's 20, just a hair over 5,000. It's not bad. I don't know if you'd want to cruise around 40 miles. It probably will do it, but I don't know if you want to cruise around 40 miles an hour in low range, but 20 to 30 I think is very acceptable. So I just wanted to check that out, just to say I did. Put it back in low. I mean high, excuse me. But, this Elka suspension is just amazing. This is set up a little stiffer than I like. I ride the trails a little bit slower than some, and so I'd like it a little softer, because right now I can feel it's definitely on the stiff side. I mean, I would never bottom this suspension out. Ever. Put a little ways, and then I'll take it up on the road there and give her a proper acceleration and top speed run. Tires bite nice. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit. Yeah, it is. Turn around. I'll see if I can get that top speed run before I get caught in the storm. It's definitely coming. Nothing wrong with the sound of this engine. I love it. I love all the V-twin engine. Polaris's, you know, they're twin cylinders. They're not bad. Well, it depends. I mean, the 800s, I did not like the sound of them, but you get up into the 1000s where they don't have the pistons going up at the same time. They offset them. I do like the 850 engines, the 1000s, the turbos, actually the 900s. They're all good sounding engine, but nothing beats a true V-twin. Definitely set up a little stiffer than I'd like it. My Wildcat trail I have, that rides a little smoother over this stuff. But if we picked up the pace, it would be a different story. That's where this would shine. But looks like we might get a little wet. No windshield, so it's handy. The seats on this thing are very comfortable. They're pretty big, so they hold you in pretty good. They have nice sides that'll keep you from going left or right. Plenty of cushion, and they're just the right amount of angled for myself. The only thing I don't like is they're not adjustable, or not easily adjustable anyways. As far as slide in and out. As much as you pay for these things, you would think all the machines would come with them, you know, adjustable seats. But as much as you pay for these things, they should come with a lot of things, but they don't. But you gotta pay for these toys, so they're not cheap. They are not. This thing does have real nice power. Accelerates nice. You'll be able to gauge a little more how good it does when I get on the road. Really open her up. We are getting close. Plenty of ground clearance on this thing to avoid obstacles. Stop here. I also have the GPS running on my camera here, so we'll get an accurate speed reading, but we'll see. A little bit of spin off the beginning, about 7,000 RPMs right there. 57, there's 60, 63. She moves right along. 67. I've seen faster, but I've seen a lot slower. I think we got 67 there, but on the way down we'll probably pick up a couple more miles an hour. And we'll confirm the reading on the GPS too, because usually these speedometers are off just a hair. Alright. Right at around 7,000 RPMs. Backed off a little bit there, but there we go. Now we're into the 70 range, 72, 73. 73 is what I saw on the speedometer. She's probably got more than that if you give her a long enough stretch, but that was plenty of a stretch for me, so so yeah, well, there it is. Did that, throw her in neutral, and yeah, that was the end of the test ride. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I got plenty of other videos on there, four-wheeler, side-by-side, sleds, the stuff I try out, and give you kind of my quick opinions on them, and yeah, that was it. Alright, well, thanks for watching.